So the man leaves the boy with the car forward to the goal. What you can do home? Yes, look, if I have given you a player to be with, you're with him. But that doesn't mean like that. Look, I've told you before. Basically, I can only give you the basic points. But when you're out there, you read the situation, you must read the situation, you do what your own football brain tells you in the situation. Whether it's right or wrong, we'll discuss afterwards. You can't be staying out there and saying, did the boss mean this, did the boss mean? You are the blokes out there, you are the blokes that have to do it. We're only covering the basic points to help curb and give us a slightly better game. Okay?
After the Manchester United match, I really thought we were really going to go to town on the best.
You're not the only one there, Jimmy. No, you're not the only one that thought we were going to go well after United. I think if we'd have scored early against that Lawn, we could be in a better position than we are today. But I mean, that's water under the bridge. We're staying overnight in this trip, but I'm not terribly enamoured about overnight. My experience of overnight, you have to watch them. Jesus, you'd be 2 o'clock in the morning, you're up on something. I remember Dick Heads one year, and Dick Heads was going down one corridor, and I was out the other. And we thought we were stalking, we were stalking players, we were stalking each other, Jesus, I never laughed so much in all my bloody life.
But even apart from the acting the maggot end of it, the thing that worries me about it is that most people don't rest on their initial night away from home.
Well, there's always the danger that somebody comes along and says there's a 9 to 3 or something like that. Jesus, then I don't sleep at all, The thing is that once you're a player, you're in the public eye, and the kind of thing is that the player, I get off my mark here, and the girl wants to be seen with so-and-so. Possibly if a football team wasn't involved, they wouldn't look at each other,
If you have 2 players who are not up to their normal standard because they've had either a restless night or, out chasing,
you must face facts that a player that gets his full rest, that can really sleep, now let's face it, that really sleep as he should. For instance, I recommend that they read, because I read somewhere or other that doctors say that if you read until the object falls out of your hand, you're completely relaxed.
What about good time, Charlie?
What about the disco tonight, boss?
Nobody moves out tonight.
It's over,
No. I'm about the chance to get out tonight.
I remember when you take the 1939 Cup final.
I remember the case of
32,000 people. It was insane the amount of that final. You don't get 20,000 at a cup final now today. How do you get the people back?
Well, I don't know. This is falling off. I can remember vividly my early connections with Shelbourne when we travelled on a Thursday to Dundalk. Thursday is the half
Thursday's
day.
the half day in Dundalk at the time.
We had 7 special trains. I think the return fare was more than 6. The Shelbourne players were mostly cross-channel players at the time, and they all had their individual little bags, for all the world like doctor's bags with the little
round leather bags, you remember that?
And 3 or 4, or more, the most of the team had black hard hats.
They called them the hard hat brigade.
And I remember as vividly as if it was yesterday, they walking down Dundalk, the main street, and one would, if they didn't know they were going to a football match, would say, well, here's a board of directors, commercial travellers, setting off on a business trip.
Over the years, I honestly believe that if you get down to a Christian name level with people, that they tend to have a different attitude in their mind about you as a person. Now, there's a foolish belief that if they refer to you as Mr. Ron or Mr. Dial or Mr. whatever, that therefore they have a respect for you. They obviously don't refer to me as Mr. Ron when they're talking about me having a jar. The description varies depending on the nature of the conversation. Perhaps it's the old hard-hatted genital foreman of the 1920s that this has come through. But at the same time, there's a certain amount of respect to it.
Okay, so Paddy and you can sort that out. Now, again, I repeat again, I want it broken from our defence fast up there. I don't want it coming down to the pace that Ben likes. There's one thing Ben doesn't like, it's being harassed the living day, and he likes time and space to use it. Deny him this is important. Right, so we should be good enough to win this one. Let's have it.
Yeah, we need 2 points.
As often as that happens, they usually sneak 1 or 2 in on us.
The important thing is not to give him room. You know this. If he gets room, he can be dangerous. We don't want him to have any room, okay? Now remember this, no arguing with the referee. I won't in any way condone it. And if you're kicked, you'll have to accept it. No retaliation. That's it.
You're working hard today, Peter. Sweating there.
Vince, you want to get these laces in earlier in the future?
Look, again, Paddy Lee has laces. On a Wednesday, coming back to this Wednesday thing we've been discussing. Take home a pair of laces and put them in your boots if you've been wearing the same laces for a couple of games.
But we don't train.
Don't be waiting. I know, but you only discover that they break when you try to tie them up on the match day. And then they break. Then you have to ask somebody to fill the bloody laces.
Yeah.
We should be doing this. We should be doing this before we put our togs into our kit. Well, let's try and remember that.
I'll take 2-1 against Shelbourne scoring first.
You'll take 2-1.
That's a good bet. No, you're on.
Well, I'll obviously can we get enough money to support that?
That'll be lovely, huh?
That's a good bet, Tom, isn't it?
That's
That's a good bet. 2-1 against us scoring first.
It all depends on who's leading the bet.
If a club takes in £1,000 on the gate this week, how could you get it across to players unless you produce a balance sheet every bloody week? How can you get it across that this £1,000 gate is only a drop in the ocean? I believe, I've said this so many times before, and so many people just don't accept it. I'm talking about people in football. That the average home gate net a club requires to aim for a line ball situation at the end of the season is £800. £800 net on your home gates. Now, there's not the slightest snowball chance in hell of any club in the country, whether they're top of the league for the whole season, whether they win the FAI Cup, what they win in the present circumstances. There's not the slightest hope of any club hoping to reach that figure of £800 average net on their home matches. So every club is legislating for a loss.
Come on, Albert! Right, okay.
Come on, come forward, Eddie. Push it forward now. Good ball, hit it, Paul. Hard up, Paul. Albert, who are you taking?
Well played. Come on, Eddie.
Handball! What are you taking that length of time for?
I won. Here, give an order.
Players are a piece of property. This is a terrible way to describe a situation. We have always looked on players, first of all, as people. People with special abilities, people with a certain God-given ability to play football better than the next fella. We have tried to encourage them to develop whatever abilities they have from a very young age. There's a social relationship, I believe, between the club and the players.
Come on, pick them up.
I believe Jerry Doyle thinks this way about people. Jerry is a family man in the strongest possible way, and he does not think of players as non-people, if you like.
Come on, Albert, it's your ball.
That's it. Don't rush in, Abby. Don't rush in.
Come on, Joe. Come on. Come on, Willie, boy. Come on, Willie. Come on, come behind the goal.
God, thank God.
I don't know, Tom. I just don't know. Today, I was never so disappointed. I was absolutely sure at half time we were so much in control that this is one match that we would take home the league.
I thought we were rubbish. We never put two passes together in the second half.
No, man. You know, the defence kicked the ball out and was back in straight away.
Let's forget it. Let's forget it anyway. What about a second goal?
No, well, Paddy, you know what I thought? The first half he's got a goal lead. And why just go back on the defensive in the second half? Were you not fit or something?
The team is just not fit. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, well, they're a big thing against Pats where you're in a heavier ground and they were coming at us and we were going at them up to 90 minutes.
Yeah, but that's just boils down to Pats are not fit either.
We said if we hadn't got the 2 points today, we would have been. We're still crap. Yeah. We played crap in 6 of the 10 matches we
I don't think we played crap though. First half. We contained them very well.
It's okay to play in the first half, but the match consists of 2 halves.
They seem to be a complete collapse from being sharper than the Cork team in the first half to be gone out of it. And I can only think of the overnight stay, Tom, any time.
His argument is that you don't get enough sleep on Saturday. And my argument is, I mean, if you're a family man, you could have problems with your children and you'd have to be up anyway. I mean, but once you're fit, I mean, what's 90 minutes? It's really nothing, you know, if you're fit. But if you're not
You
fit...
came off the park today and you told me you were jacked coming out.
Exactly, but that's because I wasn't fit.
I mean, you're all smiling about it now, lads. But last night you all want to get out, wasn't that it? We were all in bed before 11 o'clock. You must agree with it.
I was beginning to think they were in the dance hall. We went into the dance hall and hoping in this way that we might find the 3 of them. The one that we'd been searching for, plus these.
You know, Jerry, apart from today's result, apart from any results, what's going to happen to the game at all? From the supporter point of view, generally speaking, we've had no support for our matches. We've lost cash every week this season so far.
Well, what can you expect when
you
come out every week to see performances like this? Second half, nothing there. Limerick, complete washout. You can't expect supporters.
Oh, we still have a couple of Shelbourne supporters on the show.
The point is this, that as regards football here, my opinion, you'll see matches here as good as you'll see anywhere. You must go every week to see them. You'll see one good match in 3.
Do you think it was that bad today?
But even if it is bad sometimes.
What was the game?
Limerick now.
Stop for a minute.
Limerick though.
The first half.
Limerick was a bad game. There's no excuse there. We went out against United in front of 25,000. We played very well and we beat them at their own game. We did very, very well against them. We went out against Feckin at Loan the next day and there was about 25 in the bloody ground.
I think a player manager is essential nowadays because he's involved with the players and he knows the feelings of the players, you know. I mean, he can, training-wise, their manager is too old, you know, you're fooling him. You know, if you're a bit tired, say Monday, well, you say, well, I'm not going to put her in, that's it. But if you have a player manager who's been out on the field and he knows how much he can take, see, this is the whole thing in soccer, pressurised training.
Come on, Mick, come on, let's go. Come on, Pi, like a brasser there. Go for you.
The next item I want to discuss is the meeting that I had, very brief, far too brief meeting that I had with the chairman of Cork Celtic and the honorary treasurer of Cork Celtic last Sunday on the occasion of a match down there. And they, like most of the other provincial people that I've spoken to in the recent past, are very concerned about the falling attendances at matches, the fact that they're legislating for a loss at the end of the season. They just can't meet their running expenses by their gate receipts and don't hope to meet their running expenses by gate receipts.
Right here, Willie. What's that? Right, Willie.
It was suggested that we have a meeting of all the club representatives, the club chairman with at least one other official of the club. In other words, 2 people from each of the 14 clubs, or 13 clubs, professional clubs I'm speaking about, in the League of Ireland.
Mick, you know everything. You don't mind it for the far end. That's it. Go again, Tommy. 24 seconds, yes. Yeah. That's all I got into it. Oh, yeah, Terry, take the white ones. Take the white ones, not the brown ones.
From the south, namely Cork Hibernians and up last season Cork Celtic, and you had Waterford, and they were actually telling you that what they were doing at that time, namely bringing in these players which ran up their wage bill, was the answer, and that the Dublin club should do likewise. I'm satisfied that we have to run football in relation to what comes in on at the gate.
Stop! Come on, you don't bloody well just touch the bloody ball. Must go, must really go. Anyone would cut it out with a ball like that. That's it. Snap, come on, Jimmy. Not casual, that's it. Don't give him a chance to intercept it.
You know, I don't think it'd do any good for the game if the press were to start writing them up, as you say, or even over-writing them up. If the game improves sufficiently, the crowds will come, because it'll go round by word of mouth. Such and such a body has a great team. So-and-so has a wonderful centre forward. It was a great match last week. Like, this is their
I'm going to say something at this stage, Mr. Chairman. You may agree with it and you may not. I feel that there is X amount of people for entertainment in the city. And if we want to get the people, we will have to come out in open competition to the best picture that's on in town, the best ice hockey, the best match of the day. And this, I think, we're in open competition too.
3 down, 3 down. Push it now, push it now.
I'll be pleased to know that we've arranged a meeting with the officers of the Supporters Club for next Wednesday. If they moan and crib and growl about how the team are playing, it's only because they're concerned, because the Shelbourne people, they obviously want the same thing that we want. They want success in every match. They want the team up at the top of the league. We have always felt that too much interference could be a bad thing.
As long as they don't say something like, well, I think the team ought to be improved, unless they can put forward some suggestion. I mean, it's not enough to say the team should be improved. For the sake of saying it, I'm against the attitude of as being applied, say, to the country when there's a meeting down the country and a fellow arrives late and he just wants to know the speaker, is he against the government, you know? I mean, as long as he's against the government, he's for them, you see, and he's not putting anything proper forward at all. It doesn't matter the damn who's up there.
I've no doubt that when they sit around at their own meetings, if they discuss the team performance at the weekend, they probably shoot down every player, shoot down you as a manager.
I think this is a meeting will find its own level as it progresses, Mr. Chairman.
No, I welcome this, Mr. Chairman. I welcome this in as much that, as I said, if they're all here, or whatever number of them is here, and they put forward what they consider to be a grievance. And I can argue and try and clear the air on this.
Yeah.
I think this is a better exercise. As I said, I'm prepared to do this. In other words, Mr. Curtin there, the director, asked what had I to offer because the players fell back.
Yeah.
And I don't mind this. If he will accept.
Well, he's a member of the board.
No, but what I'm saying is, if he will accept. Now, on the other hand, if you remember, now I'm not trying to be awkward here. Yeah. If you remember, at another meeting, he mentioned why was Paul Mack and so, which got under me wick, as you call it, you see, because it was the other way about. The centre half was chasing Paul everywhere. It wasn't Paul chasing him at all.
Blue. Yeah. That's rough.
Hope nobody else gets it.
While primarily we are interested in the development of a player, as a Shelbourne player ultimately, we're not in it just to, if you like, keep the kids off the street. There's no question that insofar as the development of a boy is concerned, we believe that the competitive side of soccer, the fitness side of soccer, the fact that kids learn to accept criticism from the people in the club, apart from the fact that any form of field activity is good for the kid.
I want to tell you, Ringsend and Norristown, once you cross the bridge from Ringsend and Norristown, bloodpan. Really, bloodpan. Don't talk about Shelton Rovers. This side of the bridge, Shelbourne. Shelton Rovers, there was good 30,000 in it. Eddie Gannon, he was playing on that team. Paddy Coda was put off that day. Dermot Curtis, great player. Well, crowd were slagging him. He was on the wing. But he got so much slagging from the wing that he really had to shove him in somewhere. So he shoved him into the middle. But he finished in the middle afterwards against Billy Wright in Dalymount Park and he gave Billy Wright a right roasting. This is our home ground. It was our stadium. You could see it growing. It was fantastic. It was unbelievable. The crowd were going at this time. They're really going to soccer at this time. It's a religion. It really is a religion. I remember me eldest lad, Jimmy, we were playing Sligo and Talca, but we were getting beaten 6-0, unfortunately. So only about 10 minutes to go. And Jimmy on, "Come on, Shells, drag it out with a fire." Of course, Mr. Rowan often says, "Who are you married to?" He says, "Mrs. Rush or Shelbourne." Well, I told him outside, I said, "So I know Shelbourne better than I know the missus. I know her a little longer."
The only chance Shelbourne will get to Europe is in Joe Walsh's tours. Now, I'm going to tell you this much.
Wait, now hold
you
it.
can
Be a listener. Be a
all
listener.
right, all right.
What
yes,
happened what happened on the Wednesday? What happened on the Wednesday?
Mary Jane must have got a shower, did she?
Hold it.
Who was the first team that ever...
Let me show them.
Don't know what they're talking about.
I'm not asking questions. We're talking. Why did Robert do away with our youth team?
Why?
Why?
Why? Because the players was getting taken away to England.
In 1924-25, Shamrock Rovers was in Tarncastle Street.
And where
Down in their band,
Where are they now?
He wouldn't know that. Wait till I tell you. Wait till I tell you. We were playing in beach Hillingdon. What? We were playing in beach Hillingdon. No one knows that one.
Landlord. Take it easy. They're all shell.
Only landlord.
Quiet. No, you shut up now. 1 minute.
I want to tell you this. I want to ask you a question.
Sean,
the honours that the green and white, the hoops, Rovers have won. Emulate anything
That's a
that
powerful word.
I know it is.
I got a broken arm with Shelbourne. I was only about 6 or 7 weeks old.
It's a pity you didn't get a broken neck with it.
What I want to explain.
Push me.
Excuse me for a minute. Wait just a second now, Shay.
Jimmy, I don't go down with a trilby hat in me head.
No.
And I don't go out on the sideline.
Hey, Paddy Dunning, will you put the ball up there?
That's not me.
No, Shay.
Jimmy.
Wait!
How could you follow, how could you be talking here about Shelbourne and Rovers when the only football that you ever played, according to the papers a couple of years ago, was up the Amazon? And here you are here talking about football in Ireland. You know nothing about it.
Wait a minute.
You're learning.
We've had the sore situation of developing a player, a young boy from 11 years of age up to 15, seeing this kid progress, criticising his play, developing the player physically, mentally, socially, improving the skills that he obviously had when he was come down to us for a trial. And then when he comes to 15, he's whipped away from under our nose to a cross-challenge club.
Declan, hurry up, need your flags, will you?
I definitely wouldn't stand in his way. It would be no surprise to me.
Have a good game up, is it?
You know, Tom comes from... We are a football family. And seeing him for the last 4 or 5 seasons, I think he has it in him. Yeah, I would like Tom certainly to go up to England. Because I think he has a great future ahead of him.
Now, it's difficult to criticise the parents or the player in this particular regard, because I suppose every fellow's ambition is to get across channel to the highest football he can get to. But from our point of view, it's a bit heartbreaking to have spent a few years with an individual player and then to have him whipped away without even the courtesy of contact from the cross-channel club.
We get too much English coverage for our game anyhow. But like, let me say this too, like, yes, the good stuff that you see on it, you won't see that quality, even with us, maybe at our best. Because you simply haven't got the players to match those players, you see, and that's it.
We do need the premises, we do need the ground, we need a social centre apart from a playing centre. We need a route, we need a home, we need somewhere to say, that's ours, this is where we spring from. Anyone without a home of any sort is an itinerant type.
In soccer, there isn't so much of a loyalty to a team. I don't think so anyway. There's so many transfers, there's so many people leaving one club to go to another. Rather than in rugby, you join a club and you're mixed up with the social life of the club. You know more people in the club, you're closer to them.
Yes. Come on, keep up playing like that. You must go. You must go. Come on. They are coming to us now. Right? Here. Now look, lads, you're playing well enough to win this match, so it must come. Keep at it.
Possibly in the modern day and age, supporters feel that they must have a closer relationship with the club than they have ever had before. In other words, they're not just a crowd of fellas paying into the match to cheer on a team, but they want to be involved. They want to rub shoulders with the players and with the officials. They want to be involved more in the actual club running. There's nothing wrong with closer social relationships as long as the extent can be controlled.
Anyone got a screwdriver? What do they call it?
We're getting enough chance to win this fucking match. It's a question of don't start fighting with each other. You're running well. If it's breaking down at the last thing, this is it. But sometimes it's not going to break down at the last. So don't let's have any growling among ourselves. This is important. You are playing reasonably well. In my book, you should be in front. Right? Now let's not try too many things at the back, and yet when the times we have clear chances of using the ball at the back, I want them used. I mean, you don't say that Tony moved up that time and he tried to push it to the player in the outside right position when he moved to the mid. Just didn't come off.
All I'm saying, boss, is our last pass. Every move we tried has broken down with the last pass.
Okay,
That's all I'm
the player
saying.
has to try and make sure of it. That's it. We're taking the game as a whole. We should be in front, and they're playing fair stuff too. So let's go at it. Let's keep up this. Yes, we're using it well. The thing is, don't create any doubt in your own mind. This is the important thing. Don't. Believe in yourself. Let's go.
Come on, Shells, let's go!
Hit it, Vinny. Hit it! In the middle, in the middle.
No, you're running with it again.
Albert, park that ball!
Come on, Shells! Come on, Shelbourne, let's go!
Come on, Shell! Get in! You're slipping!
Come on, Shells, number one!
What depressed me, Dave, we made more chances than they did, and we didn't put them in the net. Did you see their first goal? Just a hard, low ball, a dangerous ball. Anybody could hit that. A defender could hit it and put it into the net. As it happened, he glanced off his own player and went in. If you create more chances, you are having the better the argument. The difference is you don't put them in the net. The other fellow with less chances. Don't tell me they're a better team. They are not a better team. Let me use an analogy. I went out to Hungary to play a team in a higher competition. I denied them chances of scoring. And we had a great chance of pulling it off 1-0. Are you going to tell me if we had done so that you would all have told me we were a better team than Vases? Would you? They are a better team, you said. Right.
Yes.
Then is Walsall a better team than Arsenal that beat them 2-0 in the cup?
That's true.
No, wait. Ah, Jesus. I'm not talking about the day. I'm talking about teams.